Learning palmistry by comparison. In this video, we would be talking about the money line. This is the money line that we are referring to. This line that is pointing towards the area of Mount of Saturn. Saturn planet is the planet for money, possessions, wealth, wisdom, and responsibility. There are many other qualities also associated with Saturn, good as well as bad, something like depression, depressive tendencies. In this video, I would be telling you the basic concepts and taking you to comparison. And I would be showing you hand of famous people and trying to show you if they have a good line of money or they have got a medium kind of a, like mediocre kind of a line of money, or it is also referred as the line of fate. The palmistry books are mentioning the money line in a certain way. We have to read that as well as we have to practically apply the concept of the money line on your hand as well. Now, money line is something that everybody wants to know about. Like, you are learning palmistry, so you would want to know what money you are likely to earn, as well as many people whom your clients are going to be when you are going to be doing practical palmistry. They would also be wanting to know about the money line. This is the main line that basically everybody wants to know about. I need to add one very important aspect, that each and every line in your palm can also be associated with money. This is the heart line. This is the line of head. And even your lifeline can be associated with money. No book mentions it. Try to understand, no book would mention this particular aspect, but each and every portion of your palm can be associated with money. Looking at only the money line to know how good money you are going to be making in your life would be a wrong way of giving a reading. So try to look at each and every aspect of your palm to arrive at the conclusion. The importance of money line is something like 15 or 20%. So there would be other lines also we would be talking about when we are talking about the money line. Yes, in this particular video, we are concentrating on the money line, but at the same time, until and unless we look at the other portions of your palm as well, only then we would be able to arrive at the conclusion. So that is the reason why we would be concentrating on the money line, but at the same time talking about other lines as well on your hand. This simple looking line that you see out here is starting on the Mount of Moon, and it is terminating on the Mount of Saturn. Now, if a person does have a very simple looking, deep and clear line, it is considered to be a very good sign. You have to differentiate between a very thin line, a medium kind of a line, and a very deep kind of a line. Then there's a fourth possibility as well. Some people might have a broad kind of a line, broadness in the line. Okay, so first I would talk about the broad line. If a person does have a very broad looking line, broad looking lines are considered to be negative lines. Broad lines, wherever they are found, it reduces the quality of that particular line. There's a differentiation between a deep line and there's a differentiation between a deep line and a broad line. So broad lines are bad, a deep line is good. A deep line is something that appears to be very well defined. A broad line is when the line becomes extremely broad. So that is the reason why broad is considered to be bad. The reason why we say broad is considered to be bad is something like, you have a river. There's a river that is going to be extremely broad and it is lacking in depth. So a river that is lacking in depth would have comparatively less force in it, and a deep river would have got much more force in it. And that is the reason why a deep line is considered to be good and a broad line is considered to be a bad sign to have. If a person does have a very thin and barely visible kind of a line, then it is basically considered to be again a negative sign, because the line should be well defined. Notice out here how thin a line that I've just drawn out here. So a thin line is not considered to be a very good sign. It's better to have a very well defined line of money. Now I wish to compare the real life example. This is the hand of a royalty, the Saudi Arabia prince, Salman. He's the head, and just notice he has got well defined heartline, reasonably okay kind of a lifeline, but you don't see a very clear cut kind of a line of money. Now the quality of the hand image is not so good, but still, if the line of money was very deep and clear, it should have shown. You notice probably this is the line of money that you see, but there could be two things. Either the quality of the image is not so good, that is the reason why we can't notice the line of money. But at the same time, I would say that even if the quality of the image is not so good, still you should have been able to see the line of money. So even in the hand of a royalty who has got unlimited money, he does not have the line of money as such. So, and he's earning through petroleum. So the area of petroleum is this particular area, the area under the finger of Saturn. So it is always advisable that it is also always better that the area of Saturn shouldn't have too many lines over it. It should be a clear-cut area. It should not have crisscrossing lines, because this is the area for under the earth wealth. So anything that you earn from down below, like minerals or something like petroleum product, this comes from the area of Saturn. And so having a no line at all also can also be considered to be a good sign, provided there's absolutely no line at all. You shouldn't even have a thin and barely visible line out here. Even then, I would say it is considered to be a good sign, even if you do not have the line of money. I will show you different other examples as well. This is the hand of a controversial sadhu, a saint who self-proclaimed saint. Even he doesn't appear to have that line of money, but he does have something different. It appears that, I'm just going to show you some very important aspect out here. This is the lifeline, it ends out here, but the new line kind of points towards the area of Saturn. So even the money line, if it is purely pointing towards the Mount of Saturn, it could indicate lots of money that the person can get in their life. And it's not only one thing that is good in his hand. His Mount of Venus is very prominent. So this is the area for desires. The Mount of Venus is very prominent on the area of this king as well. The prince or king, whatever he is, Salman from Saudi Arabia. He has got a very prominent Mount of Venus. So prominent Mount of Venus brings in a lot of desires, lots of energy and lots of stamina and lots of warmth within that particular person. And they love good taste, they love luxuries, but not every person who has a prominent Mount of Venus would become rich. That is also one thing you need to take into account. Now he is an extremely good orator. So this area, you notice under the Mount of Mercury, this appears to be padded. Having a padded Mount of Mercury indicates a very good memory and a person who can influence others with what they speak. So even if you have got a very good Mercury, even then the chances of making money increases. Let's take another example. Now this is another royalty, Kate Middleton. Now she does have a normal kind of a line of money. Even anybody can have this kind of a line of money. It's not that you need to have very good line of money, only then you're going to be rich. Even a mediocre kind of money line can also make you rich. Although in her case, the line of heart ends under the Mount of Saturn. So such people love the outer appearances and they love the money part. So their heart is angling towards money. heart angling towards money basically means that they are aspiring money in their life, and they want it in a very intense way. They can't live without money. So these people are extremely good money managers. They respect money, they value money, and they are able to invest their money in a good way, and that is the reason why they would get lots of money. So while going in for a partner, such people would want, when they're searching for a partner for themselves, they would want their partner to be extremely rich. See, this is one way of getting money. The other way of getting money is like if you are a very good businessman, you invest your money, you reinvest your money, and you multiply your money. So in both cases, the heart line ending under the Mount of Saturn is a good sign as far as money is concerned. Let's take another example of Saudi Arabia king, and he doesn't appear to have a very good money line, although the quality of the image is extremely bad, so we can kind of ignore it out here. Then we go in for Salman Khan. He's a famous Bollywood actor. Just take a look at his money line. He doesn't have any good money line at all. So you don't need to have a very good money line. A very good Mount of Venus can be a good sign for money. This is the lifeline. It ends out here and a new line appears, kind of pointing towards the Mount of Saturn. That too is considered to be a very good sign for money, because if your lifeline is kind of pointing purely towards the Mount of Saturn, normally the lifeline is going to start somewhere at the edge. Yes, it does start at the edge, at the initial start, but the new line is kind of pointing more towards the Saturn. So Saturn is for money, and so money flows into his life at a later stage. Later stage means around the age of 35 or so. This age is approximately age 35. Then apart from not having any good, notice no money line out here towards the end. This is above the age of 53. Even between the age of 35 to the age of 53, no money line. So you need to be very open with this particular aspect, that even if you do not have money line, or even the sun line, or even the line of Mercury, yet you can become extremely rich. So this is an important aspect of the palm reading. While you are learning palmistry, you should be open with your mind, and you have to also give your reasons why, in spite of not having the money line also, you can be an extremely rich person. He's a famous Bollywood actor. People who don't know him, he's a very famous Bollywood actor, extremely rich person. So this is what it is. Now take a look at another Bollywood actor, very famous. He does have a clear cut. The quality of the image is not so good, but still I'm just showing you the clear cut. Lifeline you can see clear cut. Headline you can see clear cut. The line of heart you can see, but you can't see the line of money at all. But he does have a very well formed hand. So even the formation of the hand matters a lot. The fingers should be thick, and it should be a bulky kind of a palm. It should be a well padded palm. A very well padded palm indicates that the person is rich in content. A person who is rich in content would be automatically be able to make more money in their life because of their content. Content means qualities. Do you have the qualities? Can you impress people? Do you have that memory? Do you have that love, that energy, that stamina, that vitality? So different mounts would speak about different things about in your life. But I would also give you one more opinion, that don't think that if you if you have got a money line, don't think it is considered to be negative. I'm just talking about famous people. These are very famous people. He is another famous Bollywood actor. Now just notice, he does have a line out here. It ends somewhere at this particular point, and this age is approximately age 32, and there's no money line beyond that. His age is going to be approximately, I think, around the age of 50-55. He doesn't have any money line, but there are other good aspects in his palm. So that is the reason why we should not give too much of importance to the line of money, to arrive at the conclusion. We should look at each and every line in your palm to arrive at the conclusion. Even the line of the heart can talk about the money. If the heart line is very simple kind, ending under the Mount of Saturn, that is considered to be a beautiful sign to have for money. It means that such people love money, respect money, value money, and multiply money. And when the line is very simple kind, it basically means that the person would be totally focused. Even if there are lots of disappointments in their life, like emotional disappointments or disappointments related to his work profile, even then he would remain focused. He would not waver. So he's a person, and he started his work. When he started his work in the movie industry, he failed around 17 times. His 17 movies failed initially. Still, he did not come under stress and anxiety, and that is the main reason for his success. He does have other important aspects, and that is the Mount of Venus is prominent. When Venus is well padded and prominent, this is good for film industry because this is the area for beauty and grace. So if you have a prominent Mount of Venus, you're going to be extremely graceful and lots of energy, lots of stamina. So even if you fail 5 times, 10 times, 15 times, still you would have that kind of positive energies within you. That is going to tell you, oh, you have failed, that's all okay. I'm going to pass again and I'm going to be successful. So you need to have that burning desire. Purely your money line can't talk about the money. You have to understand that money line does play a part, but it is not so important as we think it to be. This is another very, very, very famous Bollywood actor. Similar indication. You don't see a clear-cut money line. He's extremely famous. He's making hundreds of crores every year. Lots of money, but no money line. But now don't start thinking that if you don't have a money line, it doesn't mean that it is considered to be always positive. But certainly the roadblocks in your life decrease if you do not have, if you have got very less lines over your palm. Even in his case, he has got very, very simple looking lines, simple looking lifeline, simple looking headline, very simple and very simple looking Heartline, and almost no money line as such. I would say probably no money line as such. Too many crisscrossing lines creates blockages within you, and that is the reason why it is considered to be negative. Simple lines can give you much better result compared to very complicated looking lines. Now this is the hand of Warren Buffett. Now he does have a money line. Just notice he does have a money line out here. But this alone is not the reason for his success. We have to look at other aspects of his palm also to arrive at the conclusion. This again is his hand. Just notice the depth and the clarity of the line of Mercury in his hand under the Mount of Mercury. These are the line for Mercury. Now he is into investments. He is basically into like a share market. Now the area for share market is generally the area for sun. The length of the sun finger is long, so the person loves to take risky decisions. Now, but because it's not only risky decision, you need to have that calculations with you. So the calculations area lines, if they are good on your palm, if they are deep and clear. Now please think again. These lines should not be mediocre lines. These lines should not be very thin and barely visible lines. These lines should not be crisscrossing kind of lines. If you've got crisscrossing lines, the chances of making mistakes increases. If the lines are deep and clear, simple, very, very simple. You don't even need to have so many lines. You don't need to have 5, 6, 7 lines. Just one simple line, and that is enough for your success. In his case, you would notice that the lines are also making something like a V-like thing, pointing towards the fingers under the like under the finger of Saturn. Saturn is the finger for money. Sun is the finger for name and fame. And this is the area for risk taking. So normally it is said that energies or light pass through your fingers and into your palm. When they enter your palm, they enter your life. And these energy, light or current, they kind of get accumulated out here. So this point becomes a very, very significant portion of your life. Now he was rich in the initial, but he became more rich as he grew older. And having this V-like thing pointing towards the fingers is considered to be a beautiful sign to have. His heart line also end under the Mount of Saturn. So the person is a highly materialistic person. The person values money, respects money, and he multiplies money. So it's not one line that is giving his success. Just by looking at the money line, just this initial portion of the line, you can't say much about him. But towards the end, these lines become V-like portion. Now, some other people, when you're like taking a look at somebody else's hand, just a normal person's hand, and if you see this V kind of a formation, don't tell that particular person that you're going to become a billionaire. See, it's not a guarantee that if you have these particular lines, you're going to become a billionaire. But certainly there is one thing that is going to be there, that certainly you would be able to multiply money in your life. And from whatever stage you have started your work, you would be able to multiply your money many times over. And but we, just by looking at these particular V-like thing out here, we cannot quantify the money. Quantity of money we cannot tell. We can certainly tell that things are going to become better, but we cannot quantify the money, because generally people want, when they are asking you this particular question, how much money would I make? Would I make $1 million? So you have to tell them, you have to tell the truth. The sign, this particular sign is considered to be good, but we can't guarantee it. If you are in the right kind of an industry, certainly you would be able to make that kind of a money. But not every work you are going to become like millionaires. But certainly your financial position is going to be extremely stable if you have these kind of line formations for guarantee. Now you might have lots of money, but how well you would be able to enjoy your money is something questionable, because this area of the Mount of Venus, if it is not very well padded, so probably you may not like be extremely spendthrift. You may get your money because the Heartline is ending under the Mount of Saturn. So you are basically after money and you're basically getting that money. But how good you would be able to enjoy is basically we have to refer to the Mount of Venus. If it is very well prominent, as we see in this particular case, this is a hand of a famous like Bollywood actress. She has made lots of money, huge money. But this is the hand of a very famous singer, from a Western country. He has got a very, very, very prominent Mount of Venus. Now, this kind of a Venus means that they love to enjoy, and they would love to enjoy every day, every day. Like every day, they would be extremely lavish. They would be spendthrift all throughout their life. They are, even if they do not have any money, even then they would be spendthrift. Okay, so we have to look at these particular aspects also when we are giving a reading. This is a hand of a very famous billionaire. Even the lines aren't too clear, so I would be just talking a brief thing. Structure of the hand is good. The fingers, the padding of the fingers is good. The whole padded area is good. The Mount of Venus is prominent. Now he makes extremely big deals, very, very big deals. And I think he's from China or Japan. I think one of these countries. And he has got a very prominent Mount of Venus. So he makes big investments in, he makes big investment in IT related companies, startups. Now he has got a very prominent Mount of Venus. So it doesn't mean that he has all the money. He's investing other people's money in different companies. So how he is able to attract people towards him? Yes, he did. He may have had very good run with money. Like he may have made good investments, and that is the reason why he made lots of money. And so many people would get attracted to him because of the amount of Venus being very prominent. So it's not purely that the amount of Venus is the area for being spendthrift. Amount of Venus, if it is well padded and well padded, it means a person is extremely warm by nature. The person would make lots of partnerships and lots of relationships in their life. So people would be getting attracted to the warmth of this particular person. Take a look at the hand of Oprah Winfrey. Good line of life, good line of head, good line of heart, but quite a absent line of money. No line of money. Only think she may be having a small line out here before the age of 35. No line of Sun and no line of Mercury. She's a communicator. No line of Mercury as well. Now, when I'm showing all these things, you're going to think, oh, palmistry is all wrong. No, this is not what I'm trying to convey. I did show you the hand of Warren Buffett. He has those kind of lines, but not. Don't think that I would tell you that even a beggar can have the money line. So you have to open your mind to all aspects when you're giving a reading. Palmistry is not wrong. Palmistry is all perfectly right, but you have to give a reading in an objective way. When we are talking about the money line, if the money line originates on the Mount of Moon, it means benefits that the person could receive after marriage or after a person can the female partner is going to benefit, or if this is a female's hand, then the male would benefit this particular female. So it means benefits from the opposite sex, betterment from foreign countries, foreign associations. It could also mean benefits from trading activity and service industry, and something like public appreciation. If a person is an actor and the money line is originating on the Mount of Moon, then the person can get benefits from all these things. And even if the person is in something like water industry, dealing in water, selling water or something like this, even then it is considered to be a good sign to have. And the line should be stable. Only then I would say it is considered to be good. If the line is broken up into pieces in the initial phase out here, this point is age 35 on the line of money, this point is age 53 on the line of money, and this portion is after the age of 53. So if the money line is broken at the initial start, sometimes the person can have losses in the earlier portion, and this point is approximately age 25-26, this where the money line is broken. Sometimes the money line kind of points a little bit towards the Mount of Mars, and then the money line again starts from here. So even this can be considered to be a bad sign to have. Having a branch pointing towards the area of Mars negative is considered to be bad, because it is something like Mars is fire. Mars is a red planet. Red means anger, aggression, and fire. So if the branch is pointing towards the Mount of, if the money line branch is exiting from the main line and pointing towards the Mount of Mars negative, it means losses, burning of your money. If you take your money towards fire, it's going to burn. So this is considered to be a negative sign. So a break, and if the money line is kind of branching towards the Mount of Mars, is again a negative sign. Sometimes the money line can break somewhere out here. It can break out here. It can break even out here. So different places the money line can break. Now these are very important portions of your life. This portion is very important before the age of 35. This portion is 35. Sometimes the line can also break out here. So we have to be very careful out here, because when the money line is breaking, it need not be purely that the person is only going to have a financial loss. There could be other aspects also correlated with this particular break. Now, a break out here could mean here or here or here. It could mean that the person would have a job loss, work loss, business loss, first thing. The second thing could be the main earning member of the family, the father or the mother. Their health or wealth deteriorates and more responsibility falls onto this particular person's head. The third thing, what can happen is that one's personal life can also get disturbed due to a break on the line of money. Now you have to understand why. This is the money line, so we should be looking at the money on the line of money. Why we are looking at the relationship on the line of money? The reason being that every line is important and every line can correlate to everything else in your life apart from the main line. It is considered to be like the money line is for money, but money line can also be seen in terms of your relationships as well. So if the money line is breaking, automatically you would have problem in your finances. And when there's a problem in your finance around the age of 32 or so, or at the age of 35 or at the age of 44, so your relationship is going to deteriorate. See, your partner would want money, and if you don't have money, maybe for 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, depending upon person to person, the person would have an understanding, oh, the work is going to again go good. But once they lose hope, then everything goes bad. Because at that particular age, around the age of 32 or 35 or at the age of 44 or so, this is where you are married and you are also having your kids. So if you don't have that money, then there are going to be extremely bitter fights. And those fights might lead to divorce as well. So divorce can also be seen on the line of money, but at the same time, you have to understand that this cannot be a guarantee that it's going to be a divorce. You have to look at the other aspects of your palm as well to arrive at the conclusion that is it going to be a divorce or is it not going to be a divorce. So each and every line is important, and we have to look at the hand in an objective way and overall a palm reading that you have to give, not a small just think something like this. If the money line originates on the Mount of Venus and then kind of points towards the Mount of Saturn, it is again considered to be positive, because this area is the area for your love, your relationships, your family. So money line originating on the Mount of Venus and pointing towards Saturn means that your relations are going to help you in your work, and it is going to be like their help or their support is going to bring you more money in your life. If the money line is kind of starting near to the lifeline, probably then it's your own efforts, your own hard work that brings you more success. Now termination of the line also matters. If the line of money is purely targeting towards the center of the mount, this is the center, this is the mount, and this is the center. So if it is pointing purely on the center of the mount, then it means that the person would be able to accumulate good amount of money in their life. Like this is a good sign. But sometimes what happens is that the money line can move a little bit, pointing a little bit towards the Jupiter mount, and Jupiter is more for public welfare. So your desire for public welfare is going to increase, and you might invest lots of your money towards public welfare. If you have to accumulate money, then pointing towards Jupiter, towards Saturn is the best sign. Having a V-like thing pointing towards Saturn is again considered to be a good sign. Something like this. Again, a very good sign, as I have shown in the hand of Warren Buffett. Sometimes the money line can move a little bit towards the Mount of Sun. Then probably the person, because Sun has more to do with creativity, art and music. And if the money line points a little bit towards the Mount of Sun, probably then it could be more towards the share market or something to do with art and music or colors this is where the person's money or movies or something like music, though that area would benefit this particular person more, or creativity side is going to benefit this person more. So mainly the money line purely and purely pointing towards Saturn is the best possible line to have. Now I have to add out here, length of the line of money does not determine how much money you would be making in your life. I've already given you lots of examples. Even a short line, something like this, can mean a good sign. Even a shorter line of money can still be considered to be a good sign. Sometimes the line of money is only till here and there's no money line out here on the Mount of Saturn. Again, it would be considered to be still considered to be a good sign. Now you have to understand why. Why, in spite of having no line, even then, why we are taking into account that it is a good sign. Let's take an example. Like this is the sun. I'm just drawing the solar system. This is the sun, and the Saturn is revolving around the sun. So this is Saturn. Okay. So imagine if there's a grill on the Mount of Saturn. 1 minute. I'm just showing you the grill on the Mount of Saturn. So imagine if there are too many crisscrossing lines out here. If you've got lots of lines over the Mount of Saturn crisscrossing, what it would basically mean is that there are going to be lots of blockages that are created on the path of the Saturn revolving around the sun. If there are too many lines on the Mount of Saturn, this is what I'm trying to convey out. If there are too many lines under the under the longest finger, the finger of Saturn, if there are too many lines, crisscrossing lines, a grill or something like that, it means that lots of blockages have been created and the path becomes even longer. Like this Saturn is revolving around the sun in certain number of years, so the length of that number of years basically would increase. And what it basically means is there are going to be delays in a person's life, lots of delays, if there are too many lines over the area of Mount of Saturn. So it's always better to have less lines over the Mount of Saturn. If you have these kind of a line formation, like some people, they have got these kind of line formation, all of them are going to be negative. The lesser the lines over the Mount of Saturn, the better it is considered to be. It's not that more lines means more success and more money, but yes, to some extent, if you do have prominent double line of money, even that can be seen as a good sign. It can be short, it can be long, it can be in any way. But these lines, when they are prominent, some people, they may have these different small lines and they are barely visible. So if the lines are barely visible and they are shaky kind, so they lack in strength. So those are basically of little use. Depth and clarity of the lines is to be considered while arriving at the conclusion. Now these days, there's one more thing that is happening. There are many YouTube videos on this particular aspect. Some people say you have got a M sign. Look at this M sign. And you have money in your life. So this is what a M sign they would tell you. I'm just going to draw over out here so that you see it much more clearly. They would say, oh, you have got an M sign out here. Now this is purely and purely to fool you. And people who do not know palmistry would talk about these things. I have to give reason why it is considered to be, because when I'm saying, some people would say, oh, no, I don't believe you. M means basically money. Because what happens is, when people who don't know palmistry, they would say, a client is going to come to them, they would say, oh, look at out here, you've got a M sign, you have got money. But you have to use common sense out here. Why this should not be considered as a money sign? See, different languages, M, in English we say M is money, but M can also be different other words as well. M can also be very negative words as well. In Hindi, we say paisa, P. In Russian, we say something else for money. In Sanskrit, in Tamil, so different. We should not be searching for English letter words on your hand. Did Britishers invent palmistry that we are looking for English letter words on your palm? This is my reasoning. You don't need to look at English letter words. Some people say W sign. So those kind of signs is just to fool people. So you don't need to fool people. You have to be very simplistic in your palm reading. Only then you can give a very good palm reading to people. If you have this kind of a line formation, one single line only, considered to be a good sign. If you have got two lines over the Mount of Saturn, they are prominent and good. I would say supporting income. It could be parallel income, and sometimes it is not necessarily that 100% you would have double income, but certainly supporting income. And it could be some parallel income, and sometimes a person may say, oh, I just got one income, and the lines are here as two. So then I would say, then probably what would happen is that when the problem arises, this supporting income would automatically come into play in this particular person's life. If you have this kind of a line formation, I would say it's not a very good line formation on the Mount of Saturn. It is certainly a negative sign. Having less lines, I would say, is always positive. Too many lines is too much of confusion. And Saturn automatically, if you have got too many lines, Saturn qualities gets destroyed. See, too many lines over any particular area means that that planet is getting overworked. Overworking of any planet is considered to be negative, because it's something like you are doing dumbbells in a gym, and if you do excess exercises, your muscles are going to rupture. So same goes out here as well. Too many lines overworks that particular mount and destroys the quality of that particular mount. This kind of a line formation is certainly very bad. I've already explained to you. A spot-like formation, a mole, wherever it is placed, is considered to be very important. It can be positive as well as negative, highly negative. Like today, it can help you a lot, but tomorrow it can be of extreme negativity. Sometimes for many years to come, it gives you lots of benefits, and suddenly it starts to give you great amount of losses. So a mole should be considered to be a very positive as well as negative sign, both. Don't be afraid if you have a cross. One single cross, yes, it is considered to be negative if you have a very clear-cut kind of a cross, but at the same time, it could just mean few losses, few problems that you are going to face, either health-wise or otherwise as well, on the Mount of Saturn. But don't be too much of disturbed if you have this kind of a line formation. Even if you have this a single cross out here, even then I would say on the line of money, yes, there are going to be some major losses, but at the same time you can recover also in time to come if other portions of your hand is good. Like this is the hand of Oprah Winfrey. I need to add one more thing out here, is that when you have less lines over your hand, it means something like you're merging yourself with the universe. It is something like no blockages, nothing. And once you merge with the universe, whatever you think basically happens. It's only when there are too many crisscrossing lines out here, it basically kind of creates blockages. You can't connect with people. People can't connect with you. What you can get in your life, those are basically kind of getting restricted. And if some people, they have got lots of horizontal lines over the area of Mount of Saturn, so money is trying to enter in your life, but it is getting deflected. So that's the reason why horizontal is considered to be bad and having a vertical is considered to be good, because if the energy is penetrating, it can pass through very easily near to this particular line. And the horizontal line destroys the quality, vertical line is good, and absence of the line means that that energy can pass through in a very easy way. Now, there would be many people who are totally poor, like something like the gardener or something like a manual labor, or many other people as well. But having less lines bring much more contentment. They're content with whatever they are. There need to be other good lines also. They need to have a very, very stable heartline, a good headline, a good lifeline, a good Mount of Venus, absence of line on the Mount of Mercury, and many other aspects need to be there. But in general, I'm just showing. Now, this hand can be the hand of a. This hand is of a very famous orator, news. Like she was into this, and like in the TV, she was very famous, Oprah Winfrey. So it can be a hand of very famous as well as of a very mediocre kind of a person, but the contentment is there. She is very content. Same as a person can be poor but yet content, and all whatever the poor person wants to do, all their work is basically getting done. Like they want to get, they want money for the education for their children, they are able to get it. They want the money for their children's basically marriage, they get it. And for themselves also, they have the money, required money to lead a very good healthy life and have good food, good clothes and everything. A person can have very good money line, but if the Mount of Venus is very like this is prominent, this mount is prominent, but a person can have a very flat kind of a Venus without any padding. That means that the person doesn't have any juice in them. They have that no desire, that they don't have that warmth within them. Too many crisscrossing lines out here, no fire within them. Too many crisscrossing lines over the Mount of Mercury, miscommunicating and miscalculating. Too many lines in the center of the palm, their health basically is very, very bad. Their stomach is very, very bad. Too many lines are out on the Mount of Saturn, depression, depressive tendencies. Too many crisscrossing lines over the Mount of Sun out here, it means that the person doesn't know what they want to do. There's lack of clarity as to what they want to do. So, and if there are too many lines on the Mount of Moon, their mind is disturbed. They can't sleep in a proper way. So you have to look at the hand in an overall. You can't look lines in isolation. Absence of the money line should not be considered to be a negative sign to have. This is my repeated request to you, that when you are looking at the hands, look for all aspects. If you have got a triangle-like formation on the Mount of Saturn, certainly it is very good, considered for money. Even for properties also, it is considered to be good. And a clear-cut triangle just on the money line can also be considered to be a beautiful sign to have. The person would be able to make good investments, and their investments are going to pay off. People who have this kind of a line formation, very unstable life. Their personal life as well as their professional life is going to be very, very unstable, having this kind of a line formation. Some people, they have got a circle-like formation. Now, circle you don't find, but books basically say that there's a circle, but normally you won't find. This upper circle that you see, you won't find it any place. This kind of a down circle that you see, you might find in somebody else's. But this again is not to be considered to be a good sign. This is confusion. Square-like formation on the Mount of Saturn on the money line should also be considered to be like money and property, and it could also means that if there is a problem, if there's a possibility of losses, the person would not have losses in their life, and somehow the person is going to get saved from losses. The person can also have a star-like formation. Star, generally I would say my preference is that it's better not to have it on the Mount of Saturn. If it's found under the first finger or under the fourth finger, or even under the third finger, they are considered to be good, not under where I have just placed it on the Mount of Saturn. It should be seen as a negative sign. It might give you great result, but at the same time, it can create lots of problems in your life as well, financially. This kind of a line formation, again, I would say is negative, because you see there's a star-like formation. In the initial phase, the line appears to be good, but towards the end, the line basically loses its strength. So that's the reason why we would say it's considered to be negative. It's almost towards the end of the video. Before I end the video, there's one important thing that many people are talking about in the videos, the palmistry videos that you would see elsewhere on the YouTube. People are saying if you have a fish-like thing, it's something like this. Something like this. If you've got a fish-like thing, then it's considered to be very, very positive or negative. Some people are saying positive, some people are saying negative. Some people are saying that if you have a fish pointing towards the fingers of Saturn, it's considered to be a very good sign. Some people are saying no, it should point the reverse. It should be something like this. Then it is better. In my case, I would say a fish appears to be something like an island. An island is considered to be a negative sign. So this portion where there is an island, I would say between the age of 35 till the age of 56, 57, it is negative. Towards the end, you would notice that there's a V-like thing pointing towards the fingers. And V-like thing pointing towards the finger, I've already mentioned, is considered to be a good sign. It is something like energy penetrating out here and getting accumulated out here. So this point becomes a good portion, but it's always better. Why to have a fish? Only if you have got a fish, you're going to be rich? No, it's not like that. I've shown you many examples. Absence of the lines is again seen as a beautiful sign to have. It's not only that you need to have very good lines, only then you're successful. You can have no line at all. Even then, it can be considered to be a beautiful sign to have. Some people also talk about something like lotus. They would say you have a lotus, then it's a beautiful sign. See, if it's a line something like this formation, certainly I would say it is considered to be good. But you can't find a lotus on your palm. Lotus is something like this, petals. You don't have this kind of a line formation on your palm. It's impossible that you would have this kind of a line formation. Some people, even if you don't have it in your hand, they're going to say, oh, look out here, there's a petal. So try not to search for horses, lotus, swastik. Some people say swastik sign. Some people would say something like, if you have a swastik like sign out here, something like this. Now you can't have a swastik on your hand. So stop searching. And people who don't know palmistry, certainly they would be giving these kind of things, and there's a tendency to fool people. I would say your readings can be extremely good without being untruthful. So these signs are certainly very, very good signs. Like Hinduism, these are very auspicious signs. A lotus and a swastik is a very auspicious sign, but they need not be on your palm in order to be successful. This is what I'm trying to convey. Now, books of palmistry also mention Venus sign, Moon sign, Mars sign, Mercury sign, Sun sign, Saturn sign, Jupiter sign. Now, you won't find any of these signs on your palm, so stop looking at these particular signs as well. I would end my video out here. Hopefully you must have liked this particular video where I did show you the practical side of palmistry. Your Heartline, your Lifeline also can talk about the success. It's not only one line that matters in your success. Each and every line in your palm can indicate success in some way or the other. And this is even your Mount of Venus, purely your Mount of Venus, that is enough for your success. It doesn't mean that you would not have failure. In spite of having lots of failures, still you can be successful because you have that energy within you. So if a person is highly energetic, the chances of their success, they may fail. There's a saying something like fail fast. So what it basically means is if you fail fast in the earlier portion of your life, the chances of your success increase. See, Success is basically the probability of how many times you have tried. Normally, people have not tried. That is the reason why they are not successful. So you have to try. If you try and you have that burning desire within you, the amount of Venus is that burning desire, the high energy levels, the stamina that is unlimited, the energy that is unlimited. Your petrol and your car is full of petrol and diesel, so you can run your car for a long duration of time. So this is what Venus is. So each and every portion of your palm can tell about something or the other related to your success. I've shown you the hand of very famous people as well, and these people need not have had the best possible money line. You may find extremely good money lines in the hand of many people, but they may be leading a very mediocre kind of a life. So when you're judging, you have to open your mind and then try to give a reading. You just can't go purely by the book. You have to look at every aspect and then arrive at the conclusion. Thank you for watching this video. Bye and take care.